Something that I love the most about the Mary Lou Fulton Poster Conference is that it gives students the platform to really be creative and to work with professors that you normally wouldn't work with and just explore different methods of, in my case, politics.
My name's Joseph Peterson. I'm a history major.
My name's Camila Alarcon. I am a senior studying political science with a minor in sociology.
I'm Chris Vasquez. I'm studying political science.
I'm Hayden Brimhall. I'm a freshman at BYU, and I'm studying neuroscience right now.
Hi, I'm Michaela Dufer. I'm a professor in the sociology department, and I'm an associate dean in the College of Family, Home, and Social Sciences. Today is our Mary Lou Fulton Mentored Research Conference, and it's my second favorite day of the year after Christmas, because this is the time when we really get to see our student scholars understand that they're scholars. You see the light bulb go on when they're able to share their research with everyone. In a normal year, we would have all of the posters lined up and all of our excellent student scholars lined up with it to teach us about their research. This year in a pandemic, we're doing most of that online, but students were able to upload videos where they told us about their research. And they're just extraordinary in general in the science they make, but unbelievable in their ability to do that while managing pandemic conditions. So I hope you'll look through their posters and learn, be enlightened.
We examined the writings of Rudolf Hess, who was the commandant at Auschwitz, and we were investigating motivations behind a lot of the atrocious actions and what caused these people to dehumanize others in such a terrible way and become monsters, essentially.
And I wanted to study the different types of methods of political participation in the United States. So I used a latent class analysis to look at how there are similar patterns across different types of political engagement. And so instead of thinking of political participants as those who do engage in politics and those who don't, I actually found 4 different types of political participation in the United States.
Over the past year, me and my professor, we've been collecting data on different city governments to see if city governments who have off-cycle elections, so elections not in November on even number years, if they had lower demographic representation in their governments.
And currently I'm working on a research project studying autism and binocular rivalry in both autistic and socially anxious people. And basically what happens is we'll perform a test where we'll present 2 images that overlap using VR goggles. And these images, sometimes you'll see one image, sometimes you'll see the other image, sometimes you'll see both, a combination of the 2. And we measure a switch rate when it switches between one image and the other image. And we measure that and we relate it to how autistic you are or how socially anxious you are in both clinical and subclinical populations.
It wasn't exactly surprising to find out that there were a lot of factors that went into it. A lot of these people were not, they were not monsters or psychopaths or, deranged. A lot of them had families but they all justified their actions in some way. So in a lot of ways, they were just ordinary people who succumbed to pressure and did terrible things.
Yes, so latent class analysis is this statistical tool where you essentially take a couple of manifest variables, and in my case, I took 7 different types of methods of political participation, so donating to a campaign, posting on social media, volunteering for a campaign, running for office, etc. And you look at how their patterns of engagement are similar, and you group those similarities into classes. So they're just kind of hidden underlying types of classes, which is what latent means. And so from that, you look at the similarities between the groups and the differences across the groups, which is how I came to determine there were 4 types of participants.
My findings was that these off-cycle elections don't really have an effect on representation in these city governments, but what really has an effect is how much minorities are in the population in general. So if a city has more minorities, then it is more likely to have more minorities on city governments.
So currently we almost finished the subclinical population, and it looks like there is no relationship between how autistic or socially anxious you are and your binocular rivalry switch rate. However, it is too early to tell in the clinical population. However, previous studies have shown that if you are autistic, you have a slower binocular rivalry switch rate, and if you are socially anxious, you have a higher binocular rivalry switch rate. If it turns out that, like, let's say in autistic people, they have a slower switch rate, then what happens is in clinical psychology, you can actually use this test, the binocular rivalry test, as a clinical diagnosis for autism or socially anxious traits or things like that.
I mean, it's an exciting thing to be able to share your research with others. Oftentimes it's a private thing. You do it in the library or at home, and you know, you're reading your books, you're writing it all down, but in the end, being able to share what you learned with other people is a really exciting prospect, and it's definitely something I recommend.
Yeah, so this is my 3rd year doing the Mary Lou Fulton Poster Conference. And each year I can definitely see my own improvement. My first poster conference was a little bit of a wreck, but my mentors have really helped me progress throughout the years. CSED specifically is a really interesting program where we're given the opportunity to conduct our own research projects with the help of a mentor. So this year I worked with Dr. Busby. In the past, I've worked with Quinn Monson, and last year I worked with Dr. Adam Brown. And so I have really appreciated the mentorship from all my professors, and I've actually worked for Dr. Goodliff for 3 years, so I've really grown close with him, and I really value all the knowledge that he's given me. He's the reason why I looked into latent class analysis.
So in the future, what I want to do with my degree, I want to go into academics myself. So I want to teach one day, do my own research, maybe at this great university. And yeah, this really helped solidify my desire to do that, because I remember collecting all of this data last year and being not frustrated, but I was very focused and intent on doing this. And I kind of did this project out of spite for all the hours I spent collecting all of this data. But it was really great to see all the results and to be able to see fruits of all that hard work I did, and to see it all in data visualization and in posters. It's very rewarding. So I love this work.
Yes, this is my first Fulton conference, and I'm very excited. It was really interesting to kind of just like get shoved in all of this all at once. I really liked it though. Professor Nielsen, Dr. Nielsen, my mentor, he's really great. We actually have lab meetings where he had someone present about how to make a poster and what goes on a poster and all of the needed steps. And he really helped introduce me into this world of research where you can do all of these things and test hypotheses and stuff, not just learn about it in a classroom setting.